Mew and Mewtwo are two of the most iconic Pokemon to ever be made. They had a tremendous battle in the first movie, but we really didn't get to see a victor, did we? So that's what got me thinking, who really is better, the original or the clone? This has kept me up for a few nights now, and I just couldn't take it any longer, so today, that is what I'm going to do. A little Mew and Mewtwo fight club, as you could say. Well, kind of. And today we are going to pit Mew and Mewtwo against each other and see who can take on Pokemon Fire Red and beat it the fastest. Drop below in the comments who you think will win between Mew and Mewtwo in this video. First, before we get into the action though, let's take a look at these two Pokemon. For being a clone of Mew, Mewtwo is quite different. Mew has a total of 600 base stats and has them equally distributed 100 for each category. Whereas Mewtwo has a total of 680 and a massive special of 150. This could be a big advantage for Mewtwo, but what I truly think is going to give Mewtwo the edge is the difference between their starting movesets. Mew is stuck with Pound and Transform until we beat Brock. Being able to learn every TM doesn't really help you if you can't get access to those TMs before your first gym. Mewtwo, on the other hand, starts with Stab Confusion, which could be great for getting by Brock early. But with that being said, let's get this started. First things first, rules. I can only use the intended Pokemon in battle. No items in battle except for held items are allowed. No glitches. I run the game on 4 times speed, so we can get this done at an okay time. And what we are going to use to judge these two, we are going to use in-game speed, total resets, and finally what level they are able to become champion at in this Kanto region. And with that, let's get a drum roll, as I figured the best way to start this off is by following the original first. So let's take a look at how Mew is going to do. And as you may have noticed, this race has a nice twist. I'm giving the rival the opposite Pokemon for each run. I think this also can show an underlying way to which Pokemon is a bit better. As you can see, Mew is going to come out strong and with its first fight take down Mewtwo with relatively ease, as it's resisting Mewtwo's only attacking move, Confusion, and Pound does decent damage. We make our way through Viridian Forest, taking on all the trainers en route. We are going to need to try and get as much XP as we can before taking on Brock to give us a little bit of an edge versus hard rock Pokemon. We even take on the trainer Liam in the gym to try and give that little extra juice before taking Brock on. And at lucky number 13, we are gonna take on the gym leader for our first attempt. And my plan is to use Pound, because that's all we can do. But we're gonna pound away the Geodude and hopefully we get some lucky crits taking it down. And then once we take down Geodude, it's time to transform. And plan goes off fairly well. We were able to get a couple crits on the Geodude and pound it down. But by time we take it out, we only have 15 HP. So when we transform in the Onix, it doesn't go as planned. Our luck runs out and Onix is able to take us out really without much effort. And that gives Mew its first reset. Well, looks like we need to train a bit more. I head back into the forest and take on wild Pokemon while I make my way to the optional rival. And this fight gets a little sticky. Or sandy, I guess. Pidgey goes down in 2 pounds, but not before getting off a sand attack. Mewtwo is next, and after we get off a pound, Mewtwo uses Disable, causing us to have to use Transform. Mewtwo continues to try and use Disable as we get off a few confusions before losing the rest of our PP and resorting us to have to use Struggle. But thankfully we have enough HP and are able to take down the Mewtwo once more. After that, we take on whatever wild Pokemon we see on our way back to Brock, and for the second attempt we end up at level 16. And we get a much better start, getting a crit on just our 3rd pound, and Geodude just continuing to use Defense Curl. And then we are once again able to get another crit with 2 more pounds, taking out the Geodude. Once again, we make it into a Pebble. But this time we have a lot more health, almost our full HP bar. I try and see how much Pound will do versus the Onix, and yeah, it does nothing. Onix misses a Rock Tomb though, thankfully, and then we transform. And I transform with Onix because it has the move Bind, and Bind's going to be crucial doing trip damage to these rock Pokemon. And it definitely helps us out in the long run. By the time we run out of all of our PP, we have Onix in the red and have about 25 HP left ourselves. And with 2 struggles, we're able to finish off the Rock Snake and get our first gym badge. Mount Moon becomes a huge area for us. This is where Mew's big advantage comes into play. Right inside Mount Moon, we get the TM for Bullet Seed. This is going to be very helpful versus Misty, or it should be. Once in Cerulean, I head right to Misty due to this new TM and give it a go for our second badge. Misty leads with Staryu and we get a 2-pack from Bullet Seed, but got a crit on the first part. Misty decides to use a potion on her next turn, and as 2 more Bullet Seeds are all we need, taking it down as we outspeed. Starmie is next, and it does outspeed, getting a Water Pulse off, but we land a huge critical hit from a Mega Punch, leaving it in the red, and right after another Water Pulse, we take it down with a Bullet Seed. 2 badges down, and it's time for the rival. But first, I'm going to teach Water Pulse over Bullet Seed, as it has no use to us anymore. Turd's going to lead with his Pidgeotto and get some quick chip damage against us with a quick attack, but a Rock Tomb takes it out. Rattata has similar fate, getting off a quick attack, but then going down to a Water Pulse. Mewtwo is third, and I elect for a Water Pulse, hoping for the confusion. It does outspeed, but just set up a barrier. On the next turn, it gets off a disable, causing no attack from us. I then go for a Rock Tomb to lower Mewtwo's speed, allowing us to be faster. And just a few more Mega Punches is enough, as we were able to resist Mewtwo's only attacking move at this point, Confusion. Abra is last, and well, it can't do anything anyway, so this battle is all wrapped up. Mew is truly starting to find a stride. Hopefully it's enough to gain back what we lost in the Brock split though. On Route 24, we were able to gain an even stronger move, pulling down the Picnicker and attaining TM43 Secret Power. I teach this over Mega Punch, as it is 15 less base power, but it's 100% accuracy and also can cause paralysis or flinches depending on where we are. This is going to be huge for us. We then head to Bill's house, where he asks for our help out of a little bit of a sticky situation. And well, Bill, I will definitely help you out, but you have to hit that subscribe button and the like on the video, and maybe we can get some things done for you. But seriously, hit those buttons. Once we get the SSN ticket from Bill and he subscribes and likes, it's time to make our way to Vermilion City. Once on the SSN, we do our typical pickups, grabbing the TM for rest from the bottom of the cabinet and grabbing all the berries from the cafeteria. Then it's off to fight the rival. And Secret Power proves to be the massive upgrade we needed, as the third rival fight becomes extremely trivial. Mew is able to one-shot Pidgeotto, Raticate, and Kadabra all with Secret Power. Mewtwo comes out last, and we continue with Secret Power and get that lucky 30% paralysis, and then Mewtwo gets paralyzed twice, allowing us to finish it off in 3 shots. Okay, I said trivial, but maybe it was more lucky than anything, especially the Mewtwo fight. We grab the HM for Cut, granting us access to attempting our 3rd gym badge. This puzzle will forever annoy me, but we get through it. Lieutenant Surge leads off with Voltorb, and well, Mew is about to show why Surge should maybe just give up this whole gym leader stick. Voltorb goes down in 1 Secret Power, Pikachu is next, and Water Pulse flushes it down the drain, and all that is left is Raichu. And off a Secret Power, we are able to get the paralysis again, giving us a free attack as Surge just uses a full heal, taking it down and ruining his day. Now, not too much happens between here and Celadon, and I'm going to try and keep it pretty minimal to the extra stuff, so this isn't a very crazy long video. But we made our way through Rock Tunnel with no problems into Celadon, where I take on the Rocket Hideout right away. We find the grunt with the lift key, and we must have knocked him into next week, because that key just falls out of the pocket. And, well, it's mine now, so see ya. We see Giovanni for the first time. He leads this battle with Onix, but we still have Water Pulse taking it out. He sends Kangaskhan next, and this one takes a bit. I start with Water Pulse, hoping for confusion, but nothing, as it just Tails Whips. Then I go for Secret Power, and it looks like we only need 1 more to take it out, as Kanga does a lot with a Mega Punch, but thankfully the next turn it just uses Tail Whip and we take it down. Rhyhorn is last, and well, Rock meet Water. Bye bye Rhyhorn. After this, I head to grab the tea from the old lady, as we have access to a very critical TM, in which I should have probably got before entering the Rocket Hideout, looking back on now. Well, let's head to Saffron City and grab it. The TM for Psychic. This is a huge stab base 90 power move and is going to do us wonders, especially in our next gym. Once we have that, I head back to Celadon to take on Erica, and we have made it there in around 2 hours and 25 minutes. But with that, let's go check in and see how Mewtwo's doing in the first part of the run. Now, I don't have favorites when it comes to my kids, my firstborn, but I may have favorites when it comes to these two Pokemon. Mewtwo is going to have a little easier time in my opinion. These first few splits are going to be crucial for it. But as you can see, our only attacking move is actually resisted by Mew, and it was close, but we are able to take Mew down. Good start. Good start. Through Viridian Forest, we don't have to take on as many trainers as we did with Mew, but we do still take on a few non-mandatory trainers to try and get a decent level for Brock. Even taking on the trainer inside the gym still. This allows us to get to level 10 as we go for our first attempt versus Brock. We do have an excellent HP stat right now, and Confusion being a special move is going to give us quite the edge in comparison to Mew. Brock leads with Geodude, and Confusion isn't not enough to OHKO it, but it just uses Defense Curl, and we were able to take it down next turn. The big Rock Snake is next, and a Confusion does about 3/4 of damage, while a Rock Tomb doesn't even do 10 HP. Another Confusion, and Mewtwo has got the first badge in ease. Well, this start is definitely a lot better in comparison. Will it be enough though to keep ahead of its original creation? But this is where Mewtwo might get held back. We had a good first split, but the Misty split is going to be a little bit hard as we are relying on Confusion and just an inaccurate physical move, Rock Tomb, or the Mega Punch or Mega Kick, depending on what I teach at the tutors. Once out of Mount Moon, I do decide to teach Mega Kick to Mewtwo since it's a base 120 power. It is only 70% accurate, but I think that extra juice of power is more important than the accuracy due to Mew and Misty's Ace Starmie resisting our best move. Now, I'm going to try my luck with Misty before the rival. We take on both trainers in the gym, and then it's time for the second badge. Misty leads with Staryu, and with one Mega Kick, we send that star flying like a frisbee. But the Ace has other plans as a Water Pulse does over half of our health, and we miss a Mega Kick, and then Swift takes us down. And there is our first reset. Not ideal for Mewtwo. Instead of trying that one again, I'm going to see how we fare versus the rival, and maybe we can get some extra levels from Route 24 if this goes well. Pidgeotto takes a Confusion into the yellow health and lands a critical hit tackle doing damage. Great start. We then take it out as the small rat comes out next. Confusion does decimate it though at least, so that's great. Mew is third, and we outspeed landing a Mega Kick doing 1/4 of damage as it transforms into us. Guess even the original creation wants to be like the clone sometimes. We trade Mega Kicks, putting each of us into the low yellow health, but we outspeed and land one more Mega Kick, taking it down. Whew. That could have been something else. I was a little bit worried. And oh yeah, we beat Abra. A little anticlimactic after taking down the Ace facing a Pokemon that has no attacking moves. Let's give Misty another go though after Route 24. We are at level 21 this time, and once again I decided to play Frisbee with the Staryu, and as a Mega Kick kicks it to its demise. Starmie is next, and we outspeed landing a Mega Kick doing 3/4 of damage this time, while the Water Pulse only does about 1/4. Now we just need not to miss that this next Mega Kick, and we don't, taking out Starmie and getting our second badge. Now we are going to run a very similar route to Mew, and I try my best to do that throughout the whole run. Once on the SSN, we grab all those necessities, such as the TM for rest, and all the berries from the calf. It's rival fight time though again, but first I'm going to teach Water Pulse over Rock Tomb, giving us another extra special move, and this way Mew doesn't resist this one. Will we have an easy time? Well, let's find out. Pidgeotto and Raticate both go down from a single Confusion. Kadabra is next, and I switch to Water Pulse, which leaves it in the red, while Kadabra uses Kinesis, lowering her accuracy. Oh no. Great, the psychic version of Sand Attack. How frickin' dare you? Anyways, we hit our next Water Pulse, taking it out. Mew is last, and we miss a Water Pulse as it just transforms into us. I think Mew's trying to tell us even it thinks Mewtwo is the best. Mew is now speed tied with us due to transform and sets up barrier as we land a Water Pulse for about 1/3 of its health. We then land another, taking it to low yellow as Mew misses a Mega Kick. Well, I'm glad I left that on our moveset. Frickin' miss a few attacks. One more Water Pulse and Mew goes down. Never a doubt. We then grab the HM for cut, and it's time for Surge. Mewtwo doesn't want Mew to be the only one showing off how bad of a gym leader Surge is though. So Mewtwo one-shots Voltorb and Pikachu with Confusion. Raichu comes out last and is able to handle a confusion, but just uses Thunder Wave. We are then paralyzed, and Raichu tries to set up a double team for more evasive strategies, but that can't hold back Mewtwo as we break through confusion and the double team, knocking Raichu out with another confusion. The only thing worth noting from Surge to Celadon is the fact we finally taught Secret Power over Mega Kick, just so we had a little more PP to get through the rock tunnel. Once in Celadon, we head for the old lady with the T. This way we can get Psychic right away and get a better stab move than Confusion. Now, it's a little unfair for Mew as we did Mewtwo second, and I have a little bit more knowledge to go do that before Rocket Hideout, but I don't think it made much of a difference in the split. We then head for the Rocket Hideout, keeping this route very similar to Mew. And with the newfound power from Psychic, we loosen the key from the Grunt, and it's time to take down Giovanni. Onix leads and gets washed out by a Water Pulse. I continue with Water Pulse doing minimal damage to Kangaskhan as it lands a bite. I switch to Psychic, leaving it in the red as we take another bite. If we would have just did 2 Psychics, we would have beat it. One more shot is all we need as Rhyhorn comes out last, and we wash it away just like the Onix with a Water Pulse. No issues at all. We then make our way to Erica's gym, taking out the left side. But before we take her on, I think this is an excellent time to compare the runs as we are both at the same spot now. The runs at this point have looked very similar, as you can tell. Mewtwo and Mew are both rocking 1 reset so far, which is extremely solid. But Mew is sitting at a level of 36 before we take on Erica, and an in-game time of 2 hours and 25 minutes. Now don't get me wrong, that is awesome. But Mewtwo has been just slightly better, sitting at level 32 before Erica, and has made it there at only an hour and 59 in-game time. Mew has some work to do if it's going to catch up, which I think there's a very good chance it can, but I guess time will tell. Let's continue with Mewtwo's journey though, since it has the slight edge right now. Erica is going to be a piece of cake since, well, 2 of her Pokemon are poison, and Tangeli has awful special defense. 3 Psychics, bing bang boom, 4 badges are done for the clone, and we move on. We head back to Lavender, but not before grabbing the TM for return and teaching it over Secret Power, giving us a nice boost to our moveset in comparison. Mewtwo cleans up the rival in the tower until we reach Mew, one-shotting Pidgeotto, Gyarados, Execute, and Kadabra with Psychics and return respectively. Mew comes out, and return does what looks like a 5th, as once again Mew just transforms. I go for Water Pulse, which puts Mew to about just under half, as return does barely nothing to us. One more Water Pulse and bam, bye bye Mew, see you later, cry in the corner. After saving Mr. Fuji, we head straight to Fuchsia City, where we can go right to the Safari Zone. This way we can grab some much needed items, but most importantly grab the gold teeth and the HM for Surf. And then it's time for another round of my favorite game, spam that attack. Koga is up next, and as the poison gym leader, he's not gonna have a fun time with our psychic types. Psychic and poison just don't mix. We click on Psychic 4 times and have 4 Okos taking down his coughing, his muck, coughing number 2, and wheezing without breaking a sweat. Back to Saffron to finish off the Team Rocket storyline, and this is where I think we start to see Mewtwo truly strive. We are beginning to gain some stronger TMs, and its special attack is looking lethal. We make it to the rival at around level 39 in just under 3 hours. Turd leads his Pidgeot. A Psychic falls short, leaving it in the red as a Wing Attack does just over 20 HP. A return then takes it down next turn. Gyarados will come out second, and it's going to be a 2-shot with Psychic. This allows it to get a Dragon Rage off before we take it out. Sunday Brunch Execute is third and survives a Psychic in the yellow, and then uses Stun Spore. That's not good. We are, however, able to break Paralysis and take it out next turn after receiving a Confusion. Alakazam sets up Future Sight as we are paralyzed. On its next turn, it just sets up Calm Mind, as a return does half. Okay, I'm loving these non-attacking moves, which it continues to do as it tries to do Future Sight again. You gotta love some silly AI sometimes. One more return takes it out, and Mew is all we got left, but unfortunately after that Future Sight finally hits, it leaves us with 33 HP. Mew transforms. Man, the envy is real coming from Mew right now. And then we are paralyzed. Yay! This gives Mew an easy window to take us out with a Psychic. Alright, not what I was expecting after I was hyping up Mewtwo there earlier. Reset number 2. On our next attempt, I equipped a Cherry Berry and actually teach Shockwave over Barrier. On this one, we get a better roll with Psychic one-shotting Pidgeot, and then with Shockwave, we are able to deal 4 times effective damage to Gyarados, OHKOing it. Eggs are third again and survive a Psychic in the red, but just try and use Stun Spore again, and thankfully for our Berry, we don't have to worry about it and are able to take it out in one more shot. Now with not being paralyzed, Alakazam is only able to set up Future Sight once, as we are able to take it out with 2 returns since we outspeed. And last is our number 1 fan, Mew. I misclick and hit return during doing next to nothing, while Mew uses Psychic, dealing actually pretty similar damage. Then we get lucky as Future Sight fails. I then hit Water Pulse, doing a bit more damage, but more so hoping for the confusion as it just transforms. Our next Water Pulse does get the confusion and Mew hits itself, allowing us to finish the fight with a lot more ease than our first attempt. We aren't done yet though with this tower, as Mewtwo has to obliterate Giovanni one more time. Mewtwo one-shots Nidorino and Nidoqueen with a Psychic. Kangaskhan, it does take 2 shots with a Psychic and a return, and then Water Pulse takes out Rhyhorn. Mewtwo was out for some vengeance after Giovanni tried to make it into something it wasn't in that first movie. The battles don't stop here though for Saffron. We head right to Sabrina, and well, this fight was extremely easy. I just spammed return as all our Pokemon are fairly weak physically and we resist all our moves, so well, we eventually take all of Sabrina's Pokemon and obtain our 6th gym badge, but more importantly, we get the TM for Combine, which will boost our special attack and defense by 1 stage when using it. Cinnabar Island is our next step in our journey. We head into the mansion to grab some items, but most importantly, we grab the TM for Blizzard and the secret key allowing us to get into the gym. Before we take on playing, we officially teach the TM for Combine over Return, and this makes for easy work with this one. We set up Combine twice as we take 2 Fire Blast Tickles from the Growlithe, and then it's time to sweep. Water Pulse drops Growlithe, Arcanine, Ponyta, and finally Rapidash. Super effective Water Pulse while being at +2 in our special attack. Yeah, this was never a doubt for us. We've got one more gym battle and one more rival fight before we truly enter the end game for Mewtwo. Oh, and well, just like Blaine, Giovanni has no way of stopping Mewtwo. We set up Combine with our first turn as Rhyhorn just uses Scary Face, but even with a -2 to our speed, Mewtwo was never in danger as we are able to one-shot everything with either Psychic or Water Pulse. And we only had lost half of our HP by the time we finished this battle. Giovanni, get out of here. Now, before we take on the rival, we have a few things to do. I head back to Fuchsia City to get the HM for Strength, and then that rare candy in the Warden's house. And then we are off to Celadon for one last upgrade, the TM for Thunderbolt. I teach it over Shockwave before the rival, and then it is time to take him on. I set up Combine twice, taking a Wing Attack and just a Feather Dance from Pidgeot. A Thunderbolt then takes down the Big Bird in one shot. Water Pulse takes down Rhyhorn next. Mew surprisingly comes out third, and Thunderbolt does just over half, but Mew misses a Mega Punch and we're able to take it out with ease in our next turn with another Thunderbolt. And then the rest of Turd's team stands no match. Execute goes down to 1 Psychic, Gyarados gets zapped by a Thunderbolt out of the sky, and last, Alakazam also can't handle the voltage and 1 Thunderbolt is enough. Time for the Elite Four, but before we do, maybe we should peek in on Mew and see how things are going with it. Last time we saw Mew was right before Erica, and well, just like Mewtwo, this gym is not a challenge. Psychic takes out all 3 Pokemon, giving Mew an easy 4th badge and gets us out of there quite quickly. And that's exactly what Mew needs right now. Before we head to the Pokemon Tower, we grab the TM for Return, and we're gonna teach it over Secret Power. That's eerie. These runs are looking way too similar at this point. The rival fight though for Mew goes quite well. We were able to one-shot Pidgeotto with a Rock Tomb. Gyarados is a 2-shot with Return as Thrash does pitiful damage. Execute is third and Return does good damage, but the eggs make Mew go sleepy by time. Thankfully, after only 1 mandatory turn of sleep, Mew wakes up and fries them eggs. Kadabra is next, and a Return sends it back to his ball just as quick as it came out. In the true test, Mewtwo. A Return just under half against the Mewtwo as it just sets a barrier. But next turn we get a critical hit from a Water Pulse, taking it out. Let's go. Now, like I said earlier, I tried to keep routing pretty similar. So we head to Fuchsia City right away after our adventures in Lavender and go straight to the Safari Zone, grabbing the Gold Teeth and the HM for Surf. But this isn't just an HM like it was for Mewtwo. Mew can actually learn this, giving us a massive boost to our moveset. I do elect not to teach it though right now, as I don't want to handcuff ourselves with an HM. Koga is another no contest fight for us due to the psychic typing, and having that 90 base power stab move this early. We are able to one-shot Coughing, one-shot, ooh, never mind, we low-rolled on the Muck, but take it out with our second Psychic after a heal. Okay, no harm, no foul. We then one-shot the second Coughing, and also take Wheezing out. Thanks for the warm-up, Koga. I know the rival fight's going to be a lot harder. I'll spare you the journey back to Saffron with Mew as we make it to our rival at level 42. And just over 3 hours in game time. Herd leads with Pidgeot, and we drop it with a critical hit Rock Tomb, taking it out in one shot. Gyarados is second and will be a 2-shot with Psychic, but a Bite doesn't do too much to us anyway, so no worries. We take it out in the next turn, and Eggs are third, and our return does just under half as it sets up Stun Spore, but due to Mew's ability, the eggs are now paralyzed as well. 2 more returns and we have some eggs done over easy as we don't get paralyzed. Great. Alakazam is next and sets up Calm Mind as a return, puts it into low yellow. Next turn, Self-Co rival uses its favorite move, Future Sight, as we break paralysis, taking down Alakazam. Last is Mewtwo. Time to show how the original is always better than the copy. Mewtwo sets up barrier, raising its defense by 2 stage, making our return do next to nothing. It then uses Disable on return, and guess what? I didn't want to use that move anyways. But it doesn't matter because we're paralyzed this turn. Oh, cool. After taking the Future Sight, Mewtwo uses Swift, doing small damage as a Water Pulse does maybe a 5th. And then we get a nice string of luck as Mewtwo decides not to attack us and continue to use Disable and miss a lot, allowing us to chip with Water Pulse. And once he finally connects with Disable, it's just too late as Swift doesn't do enough to us, and 2 more shots of Psychic allow us to dwindle down Mewtwo's HP and giving us a first try victory. Alright, Mew showing some promise here. Mew then shows no mercy to Giovanni, just like the counterpart, one-shotting its lead Nidorino with Psychic. Unfortunately, we aren't able to one-shot Nidoqueen though, leaving it in the red, but taking it out next turn. Kangaskong is a 3-shot with Psychic and a Water Pulse as we run out of PP for Psychic. Oops. And Rhyhorn is last, but Water Pulse wipes it out, no issues at all. And, well, we pretty well have all of our HP still. And then it's straight to Sabrina once we have saved the world from Team Rocket, and, well, same strat as it was for Mewtwo. Return spam! But Mew seems to have a bit more gusto compared to Mewtwo, as besides Venomoth, Mew was able to one-shot all of Sabrina's Pokemon, unlike Mewtwo. Okay, I'm really starting to think that start is going to really ruin Mew in terms of time splits. We get the ATM for Calm Mind, and it's time to turn this cute little Pokemon's attack a bit up. Once on Cinnabar Island, we head into the mansion again, grabbing a few items, but mainly the TM for Blizzard and the secret key to get into the gym. Blaine is next on the chopping block, but first, move upgrade time. We have taught Surf over Water Pulse, getting a nice 35 base power, and it shows even without Calm Mind. Mew is able to one-shot Growlithe. Arcanine comes out second and is unfortunately a 2-shot, but we are able to take a Scorching Fire Blast to about just half and then finish it off. Then Ponyta and Rapidash can't handle the waves as they are both one-shotted by a Surf. 7 badges down, 1 more to go. And, well, yeah, Giovanni sucks. That's the nice way to put it. Mew is able to one-shot Giovanni's whole team with either Surf or Psychic, making absolute work of him. And Mew doesn't even get touched by a single Pokemon. We've got one last challenge before the Elite Four, but we've got a few things we need to do for Mew. We head to Celadon before taking on the rival, and you gotta remember, I did the Mew run first, and I was really concerned for Lance coming up, so I grabbed the Ice Beam TM instead of Thunderbolt like I did with Mewtwo. Will this be the difference maker in the comparison to the two? Maybe. Time will let us know though, I guess, won't it? Before we take on Turd, we're going to teach Calm Mind and Ice Beam over Rock Tomb in return, and then he leads off with Pidgeot. We set up 2 Calm Minds while we take 2 wing attacks from the Pidgeot, doing only a total of 50 HP, and then Ice Beam clips Pidgeot's wings, taking it out in one shot. Rhyhorn is second, and it hates baths, so a Surf takes it out. Execute is next, and 1 Ice Beam is all we need for this one. Gyarados is fourth, and, well, it's able to survive a Psychic on what must have been a 1 HP, but Hydro Pump does next to nothing due to our boost in our special defense. We take it out in the next turn, allowing Alakazam to come out. It takes a Psychic into the low yellow and then uses Disabled, not allowing us to use Psychic anymore. A Surf takes it out next turn, and is probably what I should have used from the beginning, as Alakazam resists Psychic. Mewtwo is last, it outspeeds, but Swift isn't too threatening, doing 30 HP as Surf does over half to it. One more Surf gets the job done after we survive another Swift. Okay, Mew, I feel you. Alright. I will say I've noticed Mew feels quite better in the one-on-one matchups in comparison to Mewtwo versus Mew, but that could also be because Mew kept transforming into Mewtwo, who knows. Before we enter the Elite Four, I think this is another time for us to look at a basic comparison in terms of how we are judging these two. In terms of resets before the Elite Four, Mewtwo has had 2 resets until this point, but has made it there in a time of 3 hours and 49 minutes and only at a level of 47. While Mew may only have 1 reset, it has taken a little bit longer to get there. 4 hours and 5 minutes in game time and at a level of 51. Mewtwo has done a tremendous job carrying that early lead from the Brock split, but how will these two fare in the Elite Four? Let's see how Mew does first. Since we began our journey with it, let's try and give it its opportunity to showcase itself first. Our first challenger is Lorelei, and well, I'm going to set up Calm Mind to +6. All their moves are resisted by the bulky Slowbro, and I'm a bit worried for that. Once set up, Dugong has us down to about 45 HP, but we're able to outspeed Lorelei's whole team, and we start attacking, one-shotting Dugong, Lapras with Psychic. Once Cloyster actually lets us get through a Protect, we take it down in one shot. Also, Slowbro does still survive in the red somehow, but we hold on from a Surf in our own red health, and once Lorelei is done healing, we take it out since we outspeed. Last is Jinx, and it survives on what must be 1 HP again from a Surf, but it misses a Lovely Kiss and we take it out the next turn. Let's go! Bruno is second, and this one shouldn't be an issue for us at all. He leads with Onix, and I just go straight for a Surf, thinking we don't need that boost from Calm Mind. It goes down, and Hitmonchan comes out next. The Psychic isn't actually enough, and it lives in the red, and it uses a Rock Tomb, knocking our speed down by 1 stage. That's not ideal for us. It makes us actually slower than Hitmonchan as it lands an Sky Uppercut, and then we finish it off. Hitmonlee comes out third, and it's also faster than us now, and survives a Psychic, allowing 2 Mega Kicks, taking us down to 19 HP before we finish it. Oh boy. Onix is fourth, and a Surf is enough. Question is, do we outspeed the Ace Machamp though? We do, but it lives in the red and lands a Cross Chop, finishing the Mew and giving it its second reset. Alright, run's over. Mewtwo's clearly better. How the heck did we lose the Bruno? On our second attempt, I set up 1 Calm Mind versus the Onix. This should give us enough to one-shot everything. Onix uses Rock Tomb, making us slower than Hitmonchan and Lee, but we finish it off with a Surf next turn. Hitmonchan is next and does use Sky Uppercut, doing minimal damage as the Psychic does OHKO it. Let's go! Hitmonlee does indeed outspeed us and lands a Mega Kick, leaving us with about half health, but a Psychic does one-shot it. Okay, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable. Onix is fourth, and while Surf equals bye-bye Rock Snake, Machamp is last, and Psychic is all we need to redeem ourselves versus Bruno. Whew. I didn't like that. Third Elite Four member, it's Agatha time, but for once, I am not worried about her at all, as we have a fast Psychic Pokemon to answer her Ghost team, or in reality, her Poison type team. Mew gives me some well-earned justice as Mew one-shots Gengar, Golbat, Arbok, Ace Gengar, and well, we would have one-shot the Haunter if not for me going for Surf, but after a few heals, we are able to finish off in our first attempt versus Agatha. That's hype. Lance the Dragon Master is our last Elite Four member and the reason we grabbed Ice Beam. He leads with Gyarados and we set up Calm Mind 3 times while taking 3 Dragon Rages to about half health. A Psychic then is able to one-shot Gyarados perfectly. Aerodactyl is second and we do not outspeed as it lands a critical hit, Ancient Power, taking us all the way to 9 HP. Oof. A Surf then one-shots it thankfully, and well, thank goodness Mew is going to outspeed all 3 of the dragons that are left, one-shotting Dragonite and both Dragonairs with Ice Beam. That one was also too close for comfort. On to the champion with only 2 resets. I'm liking how this is looking for the real deal Mew. We try to set up Calm Mind, but while getting the +3, Pidgeot lands 2 sand attacks, which are critical as they impair Mew's ability to land attacks, causing us to eventually fall just the turd's second Pokemon, Gyarados. Not ideal. Now, as you can see, I failed 2 more times, giving Mew 5 resets total. I decided it's time for some candies though, so we go up to level 58 and I teach Shockwave over Psychic as I think this is going to be way more useful, especially if we do get hit with Sand Attack. On this attempt we lead off again setting up to +3, but we get some luck as Pidgeot just goes for Aerial Ace all 3 turns and leaving us at half health before we get a Shockwave off to take it out. Gyarados is second and a 4 times effective Shockwave demolishes it. Alakazam is third and Surf does leave it in the red as it does minimum damage with a Psychic to us. After a few full restores we are able to finally wash it away though, and Rhydon comes out fourth and sees the same wave taking it out. Executor is next and Ice Beam shows why plants hate the cold, one shot in the palm tree. Our last fight of Mew versus Mewtwo. Mewtwo outspeeds but just uses Mist as Surf does what looks like a little over half activating its Citrus Berry and then it just uses Safeguard? And we must have high rolled again on a Surf, taking Mewtwo out. Woo! Mew has done it! With 5 resets and at level 59, it is the champion of the Kanto region. A bad start and an unfortunately bad finish for Mew, but maybe Mewtwo sees some similar issues in the Elite Four. Mew is going to clock in at official time of 4 hours and 26 minutes in game time. Let's see how Mewtwo fares in the Elite Four. Now, we are going to see a speed advantage actually right away for Mewtwo with the TM Thunderbolt. We only have to set up the Calm Mind 3 times with just under a half of our health, and we start sweeping, one-shotting Dugong, Lapras, Cloyster, and the Slowbro. But Jinx is able to hang on the red, but just decides to use Ice Punch, which is not going to be enough. And after a few heals, Mewtwo is able to take out its first Elite Four member. Bruno time, and I swear if we lose with Mewtwo, I quit. He leads with Onix, and I don't set up just like with Mew. Uh-oh. But a Psychic does one-shot the Onix. Hitmonchan is next, and also goes down to a Psychic. Mint. Hitmonlee is third, and I do set up Calm Mind just to be sure of an Oko as I was getting a little nervous. A Mega Kick does put us to just under half, and I then use Thunderbolt, which was dumb, but it doesn't get the job done as another Mega Kick puts us in the red. We then take it out with a Psychic, and thank goodness Onix and Machamp are slower than us, which allows us to take both of them out with a Psychic each. Besides preserving PP of Psychic, I don't know why we use Thunderbolt. Hey, in this video we get to beat Agatha twice. Woohoo, no issues either? Let's go. Mewtwo's got 5 Psychics set up and we are able to take out all of her team members as we outspeed, and her Poison team gives us no issue and gives me an enormous smile after all the pain she has caused me through our runs previously. We have one last Elite Four member, Lance. We are going to set up Calm Mind, and I've also taught Blizzard to be able to take out his dragons. First Gyarados, I set up Calm Mind just once as we take a bite, Thunderbolt is all we need, taking it down. Aerodactyl comes out second. It does outspeed, landing a wing attack, leaving us about half health, as a Thunderbolt does indeed one-shot it. We've got 3 dragons left. Dragonite is first. We click Blizzard, and it hits, taking it down. Perfect. Dragonair 1 comes out, and I decided to see if Psychic can do the damage and not worry about missing. It does, and it takes out Dragonair 1, and we take out Dragonair 2 with another. Mewtwo had what a run through the Elite Four, no issues whatsoever. Third is all that stands in Mewtwo's way. Sand Attack is a worry for me, as I do want to Calm Mind a few times, but hopefully we don't see too much issues. Pidgeot leads as we set up 1 Calm Mind, and it does hit a Sand Attack. Oh. I do 1 more Calm Mind as it hits an Aerial Ace, and then Thunderbolt it the next turn, taking it out. Gyarados is second and has no shot to a +2 special attack Thunderbolt, and it goes down. Alakazam comes out next, and we see our first miss on a Thunderbolt, and it uses Psychic, bringing us just above half. On the next turn though, a Thunderbolt doesn't finish it off. It leaves it in the red, as a Psychic from it does good damage and gets a special defense drop. Oh, we're feeling some pain this one. After a few full restores, we're able to take it out, as the Rhydon comes out next, and we miss a Blizzard. It's able to finish Mewtwo in its tracks with an Earthquake. Okay. On our very next attempt though, I decide to just use Calm Mind once. This way we don't see too many Sand Attacks. And we take the Pidgeot out, and we take Pidgeot out in 1 Thunderbolt. Gyarados still can't handle Thunderbolt even at only +1, so that's easy. Alakazam does take Thunderbolt a bit better, but this means no heals and does not get an extra chance at a defense drop with Psychic. A Thunderbolt takes it out and brings out Rhydon next. This time we just go for Psychic, not trying to miss Blizzard again, and take it out in 1 shot. Mew comes out 4th, and a Thunderbolt looks to be about a 3-shot, as it uses Metronome and lands what looks like Solar Beam. Another Thunderbolt puts it in the red, activating its Citrus. A Solar Beam hits us hard to the red, but 1 last Thunderbolt gets it down and takes Mew out. All that's left is Executor. We outspeed and land the Blizzard, taking the Palm Trees out once more with the Mewtwo, and it is the champion. Mewtwo finishes the run with 3 resets and only at a level of 52. What a run for the clone. It gets an official time of 4 hours and 8 minutes. Wow. Well, we have finished both runs, and let's take a look at the measurements. On both measures, Mewtwo unfortunately outshines its original counterpart, Mew. And I believe that has a lot to do with the early Brock splits and possibly having that massive special attack. Who would have guessed though? The one thing I will say about these two is head to head, I did feel Mew had a lot easier time taking down Mewtwo than the opposite. This could have been because Mew kept using Transform with the AI, or it could have been the ability to have more moves at its disposal, especially early on, and not relying on a resisted move. Either way, this was a lot of fun. I had so much fun with it. This was probably my favorite run so far. But Mewtwo, by the metrics and in my opinion, outdoes Mew just barely, but it still holds up. If you have made it all the way to the end of this video, I appreciate you so much. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. If you really enjoyed, please consider hitting that sub button. And until next time, have a good one.